I think I fished lake trout, I counted, in about 12 different states, from out east in New York to out west in Wyoming. And I know that they'll bite just about anything that looks like something that swims. So it could be a spoon, it could be anything that moves left and right like a flyer, but for the most part what we've settled on is some sort of tube rigging, and I don't care where you are, it will work for lake trout. But I'm not saying that's the only method to take these fish. So it can be any sort of tube. The Slurpee's tube is taking some big fish for us. And then when you're going to rig these, you're going to take a jig head, and there's several different ways you can rig these. One, of course, is to slide the jig head inside the tube, and then you're just going to have to tie this on when you get in the field or just before you leave. So there's one kind of rigging right there. Another kind of rigging is to, while you're back at home, take a tube jig like this, and you can leave the head on the outside too. That's also attractive to trout. In this case, I usually take just a drop of glue and put it right on the head, and that'll keep it going, you know, through 3, 4, 5 lake trout. So I've got my box rigged here with a variety of different tubes, usually 3 and 4 inches. I've got some extra heads, but for the most part, I'm rigging these at home. And you know, a typical day on the ice, if you catch 5 or 6 lake trout, you've had a heck of a day. And all these tubes, all this rigging is going to get me through that kind of a day of fishing.
There. Oh, that's a big fish. Yeah, he just came screaming up for it.
You know, the nature of the lake trout is so much different than a lot of the other fish that we fish for, that a lot of people, I think, if they were to do it for the first time, they'd have, you know, it'd be a puzzle. But then we've written about it, we've done, you know, a lot of filming, and they, you know, they're a little bit wider ranging, you know, probably. Gord, you've often made the point that they'll get into an area and they'll circle the area, and they'll come in and they'll come out, and they know where the bait fish are, and they keep track of the bait fish. And
but you know, the other point, Doug, is what you said right at the very beginning. This is probably the only fish in the winter is its prime time.
Oh yeah.
We're fishing all the others, walleye, crappies, pike. It really is off season in terms of their warm water, cool water fish. This is a cold water fish.
Yeah.
And in the summertime, when most people chase them, that's a tough period of time. Now they can be everywhere.
A little shorter run. Starting to tire.
And what pound line are you using?
Actually, I got 8-pound fire line on here, but with a 12-pound, about 4-foot fluorocarbon leader tied on.
Yeah, it makes it easier at the hole to handle them a little bit.
Definitely.
There. Oh, yeah, come on. There we go. How about that? Is that nice beautiful or what? Wow. Man, you are the man today with that tube. Good
You're
job.
working well. Yeah.
You want to pop that out of there?
Beautiful fish. Yeah, let's see if we can curdle.
Nice job. There we are. Look at that. Where else in the world can you come and have this kind of country, not see one other group of people all day long? Unbelievable. You got that tube, the jig head inside the tube or on the outside?
You know, this is switched up. This is on an airplane.
Oh,
yeah.
You switched to the airplane jig.
But this is the first one on the airplane. The rest of the time I had a 1/4 ounce jig inside the tube for most of the fish. But important to have a good high quality hook with these fish, because they'll straighten it out on
especially with fire line. Oh, you don't have fire line this time, but Gord, tell us something about lake trout that almost no one else in the world knows.
You know, the interesting thing around here, Doug, and on many lakes, is they feed on yellow perch way more than people think about. Yep. And you know what? They come in, and we talked earlier about that F factor and the fish.
Yep.
And perch are really sluggish and whatever. This is the only time of the year they can get to perch.
Right.
And so they come in shallow in places people would never suspect. Biggest trout I've ever seen you have on. Remember that time we were walleye fishing on a mud flat?
Yep, good move.
Where there's tons of perch around, and they just come through, and it's like picking cherries off a tree.
Ah, that's good stuff. You bet. I guess he isn't as big as I thought. Nice one, though. Oh, no. Anyway. Oh, beautiful fish. What a fishery. Amazing. You guys live in paradise.
Yeah, we enjoy it. Yeah, beautiful fish.